when nobody's watching. In those early mornings, when it's dark, it's wet, it's cold, you feel tired, you feel sore, it's warm on the couch. What do you do then?
The time of year, we try to make our dreams come true. But the reality of all that is sacrifice. And those dreams quickly become nightmares. But in those nightmares are where our demons lie. That's the domain in which they know we don't want to go into on those early mornings. It wakes up all these things that we failed at. Those demons are in those nightmares. That's what keeps us from accomplishing our dreams. So this year, your back is turned to the doorway. Because they know you ain't going into nightmare land, but you're going in there. And when the backs are turned, you're gonna rear naked choke them motherfuckers out. Every one of them. That's the mentality you must have and always have. People want to find peace immediately. You're gonna find peace from going to war with yourself.
Make a declaration to yourself. Declare all-out war that you're going to get out of this rut.
We are in control of our mind. We believe it's the other way around. No, we put in our minds what we should do. We have to reprogram it and tell us, no, we're good. This sucks, but it's okay.
If you don't program yourself, life will program you. In order to begin to reinvent your life, you've got to make a conscious, deliberate, determined effort. You really have got to put all of yourself into it. It's very challenging to act, to do those things. There are times when you're looking at it and you say, I know I need to do this, but I don't feel like it.
What most of us are looking for is this special feeling of, oh, I feel great this morning. I'm going to get out of bed and get a quick 5 miles in or go to the gym. If you're looking for that feeling, let me tell you one thing, it ain't going to come. You have to learn to do when you don't want to do. Learn to bring that savage mentality out of yourself. The animalistic motherfucker. You think a savage gets up about how he feels or how she feels? Then just do it. Learn to be your best self when you're least motivated. Stop looking for a feeling to control what goes on in your life.
You're gonna have more days you don't want to do something than you are gonna want to.
Most days, you're not gonna be pumped up. Most days, you're gonna feel weak. Most days, you're gonna want to stay in bed. Most days, you're gonna feel like most people do. But if you do what most people do, which is give yourself reasons to not get the tasks done, not get to work, not get out of bed, you're gonna end up like most people, barely getting by, being unhappy with their lives. You gotta make a different decision. You gotta decide enough is enough. You've had enough of being average and ordinary. You're tired of being mediocre. You're now gonna push yourself.
It's gonna feel better when it's over. You know that when you get done doing the hard thing, it's gonna feel better. Waking up, working out, taking care of some tedious task. You know you will feel better when it is done. You also know that if you don't do the hard thing, the thing that you don't want to do, that you don't feel like doing, you know if you don't do it, you're going to feel inferior. You know you're going to feel weak. And that feeling, that horrible feeling, you know that feeling too. You know it. You know it's true. Those are the two outcomes. One will cause you some short-term gratification. You'll get to sleep a little bit more. You won't have to put out during a workout. You don't have to do this tedious task. You'll get some short-term gratification, but the long-term regret will be strong, and it will inflict pain on you.
Successful people do one thing more than others. Make movement. They get it done.
While most people are slacking off, relaxing, wasting their time, the winners in the world are putting in work, studying their craft, practicing, running drills on how to perform better, putting in all those extra hours when everyone's already gone home.
And of course, you'll get tired, you'll get worn out, you'll feel exhausted and lazy and not want to work, and you'll have some really, really rough days. But when that happens, you gotta tell yourself, I will not stop. I don't care what I have to go through. I'm gonna get this done, no matter what.
You do what you know you need to do to move forward. And when you do that thing, you know you're gonna feel strong, and you're gonna feel gratified, and you're gonna feel worthy. of this life. That's how you're gonna feel when you do what you're supposed to do. Remember that. Remember that the pain right now will absolutely pay off in the future. And the capitulation and the conceding defeat to weakness, that will absolutely result in the pain of regret and remorse later. You know this to be true, so don't allow it. Remember the feeling of victory that comes from doing the right thing, the hard thing. Remember that feeling, and then go get it done.
No one goes the extra mile and keeps going.
I feel like this next generation that's coming up, they seem like a bunch of puppies to me.
It's so easy to be great nowadays, my friend, because most people are weak. Most people don't want to go to that extra mile. Most people don't want to find that extra because it sucks. It's miserable. It's lonely. Now I can thrive in that. That's the only place to be.
There's never been more opportunity than there is right now. If you're a fucking savage and you get out there and you grind hard and you want it bad enough, you can run all these guys over, man.
I was never the strongest guy. I'm not the fastest guy. Not the smartest guy. But I will work, and I will work hard.
I'll never be in the Olympics. I'll never be a professional athlete, but still I grind. I fail at most things I do, but still I grind. I don't want to do half the shit I do, but still I grind. And that one day, you see me down a dark alley, running at 1 o'clock in the morning, know one thing, I was grinding.
I will be up when my competitor's asleep. I will be up when my enemy is curled up in bed. I will be up getting after it.
If you guess right now, there's no one looking, man.
If no one was looking, I had a chance to sneak in some extra work. To do a little bit more while no one's looking. They'll think I'm better than I am. So I recommend you do that right now. No one's looking, you're home alone, do more!
Do I like the long hours? No. Do I like having to watch a game at 3 o'clock in the morning? No. But I have to be prepared because I'm addicted to the result.
If today you never say good enough, tomorrow you'll always have enough. Championships aren't won in the theater or the arena. They're won in the thousands of hours in the training room, the labs, and the 5 a.m. runs, and the training when everyone else is sleeping. That's when it's won. The heart of a champion is a light switch that's always on. It doesn't go on and off when someone's watching. It's constant. Champions aren't found on the podium with their hand up. No, champions are found in the lab studies. The thousands of hours of hard work when no one's watching. That's what makes the will unstoppable. When you're in here and no one else is, and you're pushing yourself harder than anybody with no one around. It's how you look at something. If your name's attached to it, then you do it right. The best of your ability every single time. If you're dusting your countertops, do you dust around the picture frame, or do you pick the up and dust the entire thing? Do the job right or don't do it at all. That's the same person who has his hand raised on the podium one day.
How you hold yourself in the small things of life. Build the character winning blocks of the things that we're remembered for. And it begins now with no one looking. How you hold yourself. How you see yourself. What do you do when nobody's watching? If you do it then, I guarantee you'll be doing it when everyone's watching.
Execute, execute, execute. And that's what people don't do. They don't execute. Making a freaking plan is the easy part. And you have to understand, if you don't execute on the plan, if you don't get up in the morning when you're feeling tired, scared, if you don't execute, you're not just cheating yourself. You're cheating your family. You're cheating your employees. You're cheating your team. Whatever you're a part of, it's bigger than you, man.
Nobody wants to do it. That's the thing. When you look at someone and you say that man or that woman has something that I don't have, nobody woke up with that shit. They got it from showing up every day and execute. And especially when they don't feel like it. You think that this just happens. You think, I'm going to show up, I'm going to put in my time, and then I'm going to be rich. And that ain't what happens.
Everyone's always looking for other people to do stuff for them. Stop looking for help from everybody else. It starts and ends with you.
You've got to do more. You've got to become valuable. You've got to understand that what you get paid to do is the minimum. And everything on top of that is your investment in your future.
So if you're going to stand out, don't do the same thing that everybody else is doing.
Separate yourself. You playing against other teams and you doing exactly what they're doing. Separate yourself. Stop doing what they doing. If you stop doing what they doing, you're going to be a champion. Stop following. No more following. No more doing what everybody else is doing. Set the doggone standards. It's time for y'all to set the standard. If you decide that my life deserves my developing this what I do well, and becoming the best at it and mastering myself, and seeing what I have within me, I grant you that your gifts will take you places that will literally amaze you. All of us need some area of our lives where we can have a feeling of competence. That people know when they think about this area, that's something you do. That you eat and sleep that. And that you do that. You do that. People know it. If you begin to work to develop your gifts, you'll develop a strong sense of happiness. You'll get a larger vision of yourself. The harder you work, the harder it is to surrender.
Everything you do it like this is the last time you're gonna do it.
If you're in bed right now and you're rolling around, you can't fall asleep, get the fuck up. It probably means you haven't done an honest day's work to earn that rest at night. I can put an honest day's work in here that more than anyone does in a week. And no one sees it. Because it's supposed to be that way. This is the fucking means to the ends. It's not the ends. And you're not in here to get an achievement. You're in here to pay your fucking dues so later in life you never wonder what it.
You know what you gotta do to get to paradise? You gotta fight like fucking hell to get to paradise. The ones that can fight, the ones that come back, those are the ones that succeed. Those are the icons of the world. There's many legends out there. There's very few icons.
Do I want to be here right now? No, I don't want to be here right now. I'd much rather be home watching the game. But later down the road, I don't want to always be just watching the fucking game. One day I want to play the fucking game. So by being here now ensures that I'm not going to be a spectator for the rest of my life. That's why I love the fucking pain and progress.
It is the process of the grind that shapes you and forms you. It's not the game. And that's why most of y'all get beat in the game or make mistakes in the game, because you think grinding is what happens when the sun comes out. You think grinding is what happens when the lights come on. You think grinding is what happens when people get in the stage. That's not grind. The real grind is in the dark when nobody sees you. When nobody knows what you're doing. When you studying without coach. When you putting in those extra reps. When you watching those videos and you getting inspired. When you change your music. It's the process that makes you sweet.
The work comes before the belief. You're gonna have to do some work, and you're gonna have to keep doing it consistently, even when you're not seeing the results, even when you feel like giving up. And eventually, results will begin to sprout as you do this. And when that happens, you're gonna build faith, build belief in what it is you're doing. You start to realize, hey, I can really do this. This is actually working. And as you work more success sprouts.
You're going to start to create something. You have no motivation, you have no drive, you have no ambition, but you're going to force it to happen anyway, because that's what bad motherfuckers do, and that's what you are. You're going to go through day by day by day doing the work regardless of how you feel like it. And then what's going to happen is you're going to see a little bit of a result. And when you see that little bit of result, you're going to get happy. And what's going to happen in your brain is it's going to open up the possibilities for you of what you can actually achieve, because now you can clearly see that if I do the work, this result will happen. And when this result starts to happen, you get excited. And guess what comes with the excitement? The motivation.
The inches we need to become dominant in any field of life are all around us. It's in every task, every project, every mission, every day, every second. When you do the small things, how do you do them? Because if you're putting in 120% in those small tasks, I know for sure you're doing it in everything else.
It's the people who are willing to do twice as much as anyone else. Those are the people who end up winning. You go the extra mile, you push through the extra round, you do those extra reps. That's what defines if you become first or forgotten. Champions are focused on the goal. They don't have time to be doing stuff that's not going to help them toward the goal. And so what you're focusing on throughout the course of the day, it has to change. What you're looking at, what you're reading, what you're watching, the conversations you have. You've got to be focused entirely on your dreams, entirely on your goals. When you're great, you don't just focus on a week. You don't just focus on a month. You don't just focus on a year. You concentrate on the 24 hours that's in front of you and work as hard as possible to nail it.
You dominate in the dark when nobody sees you, when no one knows what you're doing. Those late hours and early mornings where you're working your ass off. Nothing feels better than giving everything you have to the grind.
And a lot of people are confused as to how high drive, high success people can wake up every day and go at it. It's because they know that even if they feel bad, even if they don't feel like doing it, if they push through just a little bit, just a few more days, they're gonna see something that is gonna start to make them feel good. It's gonna give them belief, it's gonna get them motivation, and it's gonna make them feel like doing this is absolutely worth it, and not only worth it, but exciting. So if you're in this phase where it doesn't feel like it's worth it, where it doesn't feel like it's very fun, just remember, if you keep going and you do not let your feelings dictate what your actions will be, the results will always be there.
When you get to sit back and unwind after working yourself to the bone for those goals and dreams, you'll feel a sense of pride you might have never felt before. But you only ever get to that point if you get up and get to work.
You should f***ing quit. You should quit f***ing quitting. Any path you take to get where you want to be, if that place is worthwhile to go, it's going to be f***ing hard. So quit judging your quitting based upon how hard something is. Because every single path that you could possibly take to get somewhere where you want to be is going to be hard. Struggle, pain, misery, frustration, those are signs that you are on the right path and making progress. Nobody that is where you want to be has gotten there without these struggles, without the bleeding, without the pain, without the depression, without the misery. Nobody. And if you want to be something great, you are going to have to learn to accept the struggle as part of the recipe. Every single day you need to look yourself in the mirror and ask yourself, what am I willing to do to get what I want? And if the answer is whatever the f*** I have to, you'll get there in time.
You're setting the example every single day of your life. You have to constantly over that motherfucking machine. The machine is your mind. You gotta keep challenging it every day.
The price of regret is much heavier than the price of discipline. You never want to wake up one day, 1 week, 1 month, 1 year down the road and go, man, I wish I would have listened to my gut. I wish I would have done this thing. You don't want to live in regret. If there's something you want to get done in work, your relationships, school, whatever it is, do it.
Life is one big head game. And once you learn to play the motherfucking head game, it's no longer a game anymore at all. You can start living your life.